Here we go. All right, so let's pretend that even though I had you guys do these in class, let's go back over page 1 again, okay? Now, let's see page 1 differently. See page 1 like, how can I make sure if I see those questions again that I will get them right? So let's take a look at the chart. Is there anything in that chart that you're still weak at? If it is, you've got to fix it. You have to fix it, don't you? All right, what do you think? Now, if you look at questions 1 through 10, how many of those do you think you should have missed? I'm going to say none. Because all you had to do is know your powers of 10, and you knew exactly you had to know those anyway. So let's say you missed 2 out of 10. That's not bad. That's not bad. What if you missed 5 out of 10? That's not good. If you're missing half of this, that's something you could have prevented, right? And on the bonus opportunity, I will have some of these again. You get that? So you say, okay, I get it. If I know my powers of 10 again, I'm going to get all those right on the bonus question. See, the bonus opportunity is not a quiz. You can never lose. You can only gain. You get that? I'm going to give you a chance to gain. Just gain, that's all. Gain, gain. All right, let's go to the 11 through 20. Now be serious. Look at 11 through 20 and say, I only missed 1 question there, and I know what it is. I know how to fix it. Or, I missed 8 of those 10. I need to start asking some questions. All right, what do you got? 11 through 20. 11 through 20. This is for you, okay? It's not for me. If you ask those questions again on the bonus opportunity, would you get them right? Just be serious. Say, I don't know that. I missed something here. Look at this question here, number 16, 17, 18, 19. What's wrong with your answer? Well, I missed it. I said, the first one, I said 10.3. What could be wrong with 10.3? Do you know? Now I'm looking at half your faces. I'm looking at you. Do you know? Say, no, I'm not sure. Because what? Yeah, this ruler, right, this ruler, because I have the ones place, don't I? I have lines for tenths place. You are forced to guess what? Not ones place, not tenths. What do you have to go to? You have to guess hundredths place. So your answer has to be something point something something. Because the ruler has ones place and it has lines for tenths of a centimeter. But you have to guess in between here. So what about this right here? Look at number 19. I know it's 13. 13 point what? Well, I'm certain it's 13.2, but I don't know in between there, do I? I have to guess that. And I break that into 10 pieces. And look at there. Can you see that very well? No, you can't. Sorry. All right, see that? So if you look at that there, it says 13.2. What do you think? If it's halfway, you say 5. If it's a little bit more, you say 6, right? So what do you think? Everybody look up here. Now, I got to go at a pretty fast pace, okay, if we want to get this done. What do you think? Halfway? More than halfway? So some of you might say 5. Some of you might say 6. Is that possible? Both of those are correct. But you went to the right number of places. What about this guy? This one is 10 point what? 3. But this ruler, you have to go to hundredths place. Even if you think it's right on the line, because you're telling me about your ruler. If you say it's 10.3, you're saying you had to guess the 0.3. No, you didn't. It was right there. It was on the line. All right, what else? Look on page 1 and say, can we have a show of hands? How many people missed 5 or less on the first column? Look at the first column. You missed 5 or less. Okay, now, of the 5 you missed, do you understand those 5 you missed or not? So if you saw something like that again, now what if you missed more than 5? Usually you raise your hand or you said, no, I get it. So what about, we're getting ready to leave page 1. I don't want to leave page 1 unless you want me to. Okay, now remember, I can't ask every question. I'm not going to have the same test. Let's flip it over. Now, some of you were quite good on this page, but some of you, this is the one that started hurting you, okay? So we're going to try to fix that if we can. Look at 21, and by the way, you know what I should have done? I should have put this up here. Would you please write the correct answer on your answer sheet? Could you go ahead and put the correct answer on your answer sheet. And then, if you're getting ready to study with your test, you'll actually have the correct answer written down there. I made a mistake by not putting that up there, okay? I should have put this up on the board first and then ask you about it. Okay, are you able to see that? Is that big enough? Okay. One more time.
Are we taking these time? Can we study off the test or no?
I might. I'm thinking about it. I know we're studying in class with the test. Now, except for your homework grade, this is actually the last grade. And so I want to be able to help you a little bit since it's the last grade of the quarter. You get that? See, notice that these two had to go to hundreds place. See that? Now, you didn't have to have 13.24. You could have 13.25 or like that. Okay. So look at column 1. Most of that is page 1. All right, what do you think? Okay, now go ahead and put your answers for column 2. For column 2, write the correct answer in. Now, even if you blocked out a question like that could appear on the bonus opportunity. You get that? Because everybody blocked out their own. Everybody had different ones that they didn't like. But you don't want to, just because you blocked it out doesn't mean you shouldn't know how to do it. This section right through here, the rules, the directions say that if the number, it says put everything in scientific notation if it's not in scientific notation. And none of these were in scientific notation, so they all had to be put in there. There was only one question that was already in scientific notation. It said, take that one out. There should have been only one of these that looked kind of like that. All the rest of them should look like scientific notation. Yes?
29.
Okay. Which one?
29.
Okay.
This is what I got, but on your paper says that was right.
Okay. Is that the way it was written the
Yeah,
first time?
yeah.
Okay. Well, it looks like a 5 now. I don't know why it didn't look like a 5 the first time I graded it. Oh, I know why. Because it looked like a 3. I was going to ask you about that. See this little hump here?
Oh.
Okay, so I'll give you that. Let me just go ahead. Okay, now, shoot, I'll forget it if I don't do it. There you go. All right, so now, does everybody have the correct answers for column 2? These right here, some of you just got every single one of these right, and I think you should have on how many sig figs, but some of you missed 3 out of 4 of these. That's not good. It's like we went over that thing, and I thought the rules were pretty simple, and to miss 3 out of 4, that's a lot. All right, now what I'm going to do is you have the answers, and what I'm going to do now is look at the questions and say, which one you say, I'm not sure how you did that. How did you get that answer? Because I worked at that one, and I thought I had it. So you just have to be honest, okay? I'll give you a chance to get some points back, but you have to be honest. If you're not honest with yourself, you're going to miss it again on the bonus opportunity. All right, let's take a look at 20 down to 35. 20 to 35. 2035. I know you should have your hand up because this was not a good column for some of you, right? All right, raise your hand on column 2 if you missed 5 or less. If you missed 5 or less in column 2. He's maybe 2 of you may be the only people that may have already figured out your answers, right? But if you're missing more than 5 in this column, we got to fix it. All right, which one?
The answer for 23
20 what? 23. It's you could have written 0.26, or you could have written 2.6 times 10 to the minus 1. That one did not require you to put it in scientific notation, so I would have accepted 0.26. Now, as we're being honest here, just say, raise your hand and say, I want to watch you do that problem, and I'll see what I did wrong. What did I do wrong? Yes, go ahead. 24? Okay. Now, 24, we have 802.4 microns. Make sure I wrote that right. Wait, is that 8,024? Oh, my fault. 8,024, my fault. There's no decimal. All right, to make this conversion, we're going to go from micron. Where's micron at? Isn't that the same place as micro? Isn't that where it's at? 10 to the minus 6. And where's angstrom at? It's all right? So to make the conversion, I need to go how many steps in what direction? Now, I got to look at your eyes or something. You got to tell me. Does that make sense to you? If I go from 10 to minus 6 and I go to 10 to minus 10, I need to go 4 to the right. Now, here's my original number, 8,024. Now, if you had $8,024, you know where the decimal is, don't you? But what do I have to do with the decimal? Move it 4 to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now go back and put commas. 80,240,000. Now, thanks for asking that question. If you had to do this again, I know maybe powers of 10 for you, but if you could memorize your powers of 10, would you be able to get this right, you think? Okay. All right, somebody else. Yes.
Can we do 23?
20 what?
23.
Okay. 23 looks scary, doesn't it? And here's the hard part of 23. 2.6 million. How do you write 2.6 million? Well, it's bigger than 2 million, but it's smaller than 3 million. So how do you write 2.6 million? Everybody got that? Is that bigger than 2 million? Is that less than 3 million? That's 2.6 million, isn't it? Now, I'm going to go from nano. Where's nano? Nano negative 9. Nano negative 9, and where am I going? Woo! 10 to the minus 2. Everybody see that? Now, how many steps and what direction do I go? Julia, what do you think? How many steps and what direction?
Do you go to the left?
To the left, how many?
7.
Yeah, 7 left. So if I write the number out and I move the decimal 7 to the left, I'll have the answer. Here's my number, 2.6 million. Now move the decimal 7 to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the answer is 0.26, isn't it? 0.26. All right, good question. What about something else? Just be serious, okay? If you guys will just bear down a little bit and you get that bonus opportunity, you say, all right, point. But if you sit there and you said, I don't know how to do number 25, I'll never know how to do 20. Maybe I won't even ask that. Yes? 20 what? 22? Okay. This one's tricky because what is the given? If you want to use the stair-step method, you have to go from the given, don't you? Now, the given is not kilojoules because it says how many. I don't know it. What is the given? 1 megajoule equals, they want to know equals what? How many kilojoules? That's what makes this harder, because it was worded that way. See that? Well, now it's easy. Where's mega? Where's mega on powers of 10? North Carolina has a lottery called Mega Million, doesn't it? So where's mega? Isn't it 10 to the 6th? And where are you going? From mega to kilo. What's kilo? 10 to the 3rd. Okay, all right. So how many steps in what direction? 3 to the right. And what's my original number? My original number is 1. So I move the decimal 3 to the right. 1, 2, 3. And the answer is 1,000. This is 1,000. Now, all of those are done kind of the same way. I think we need to get to this section here. I wanted to make scientific notation easy for you, and I wanted to. And so why don't we go ahead? It says if it's already in scientific notation, this is the only one that's already in scientific notation. How do I know that? Because this part's between 1 and 10, and see that? The first part has to be between 1 and 10. You're not in scientific notation. You're not. So all of these had to be put into scientific notation. Let's look at number 26. Now, ready? Move the decimal to create a number between 1 and 10. I did that. How many places did you move the decimal to do that? 1, 2. Now, does that thing stay as a positive 2 or negative? Look at this. Big number or decimal? Is he big or decimal? He's big. And big numbers have this kind of exponent, don't they? So you're done. Look at this guy. 5.48. Now, how many places do I have to move the decimal? 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, do I leave it like that? Because this is a decimal number. This is not a decimal number right now. What do I have to do? Put a negative there, don't I? Okay, next. 8 billionths. Okay, watch. What's that number? What's that number? Help me out. A billion? What's this number? What's 10 to the minus 9? A billionth. How many billions do you have? 8 billions. 8 billions. What do you think? All right, now the hard ones. Go ahead, Zach. Kyle.
How do you know if the exponent is going to be negative or positive?
Say it again.
How do you know if the exponent is going to be negative?
Okay, great question. Now, even though the math book would like to tell you, if you move the decimal to the left, make this negative. Make it positive. You could mix that up, couldn't you? But here's what I don't think you should mix up. I know that 1,000 is a big number, a million is a big number, and a billion is a big number. I can remember that these exponents, see these exponents? Those are big guys. What's this kind of stuff? What's 10 to the minus 5? What's 10 to the minus 10? Those are decimal numbers, aren't they? So if I'm going to convert this into scientific notation, this is a big number, isn't it? Then what kind of power 10 is it going to have? Positive. Now what about this guy? See? I don't have to remember left or right. These are the hardest ones. Okay, so let's try this one more time. Change this into scientific notation, and you put 3.62 times 10 to the, help me out, Zach. What? Dang it. Kyle. I want just this part of the number to be in scientific notation. 3.62 times 10 to the what? Don't look for the answer. All I want to know is what this part is. 3.62 times 10 to the second. Now, see this part that I covered up? I got to put that back. See that? Now, my final answer is 3.62. And when you multiply numbers with exponents, what do you do with the exponents? Add them. What are you going to get here? See that? Now, you ask a good question, okay? I thought these are two of the hardest ones on the page, I think. Let's do the next one. If we can get this one right, I have 2 bonus questions like this. So, ready? Let's take this part here and put it in scientific notation. All right, Zach, help me out. Zach, this time. Take this part of the number right here and put it in scientific notation. No, I don't want the answer. I want just put this part here in scientific notation. Keep doing it. Times 10 to the what? I had to move it 1, 2, 3 places, didn't I? And is it is a decimal number or a big number? So what is it? It's a big number? No, I don't mean, what, this original number, is it bigger or is it a decimal? So you're going to change that part of it to 4.9 times 10 to the what? Yes? 4.9 times 10 to the negative 3. Now, this part that I had covered up, I had to put that back. My final answer, 4.9 times 10. When you multiply numbers with exponents, what do? Add the exponents. Here we go. So if you could do those two, then the rest of them, I can do some more. I can do some more, but is that what hurts you a little bit? Okay, now, I really think you should have gotten these right. That's just my opinion, okay? What is rule number 1? If you're not a 0, you're in. So watch. I'm just going to underline all the ones that aren't ones. And that should have been the easiest thing right there. And there we go. See that? So that was pretty easy. Rule number 2 had to do with Oreo cookie zeros, as I call them. The ones that are trapped. Remember that? Sig fig, sig fig. I got a 0 in between. Let's go find them. Oh, look. Here are 2 of them right there. Okay. So look right here. These 2 zeros are trapped between the 5 and a 5, so they're in. And here's an Oreo cookie 0. And no, I don't have it here. No. So I'm already done with rule 2, am I? Rule 3 says if you're a trailing 0, what do you have to trail? Don't say decimal. If you trail a what? And that's why we're missing them, you see? It's that little detail. I even told you rule number 3 was the only one you really are going to have trouble with. Trailing zeros come after a sig fig. Now, do you see these zeros here? Do they come after the 5? Now, when do trailing zeros count? If there's a decimal there. Now, see, is there a decimal in this number? These are trailing zeros, and there is a decimal, then you're in. You're in. So what's the answer there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are 7 sig figs there. Look at this next one. I don't have any trailing zeros. I'm done. I'm done. Do you see any trailing zeros? No, I'm done. So the answer here is 3. These are trailing zeros. Do they count or not? They count if I see a decimal. Is there a decimal there? Then they don't count. And anytime you write something in scientific notation, you just look at this part. These are trailing zeros. They came after the 2, didn't they? Do they count? Yes, because there's a decimal. What do you think? I feel bad if you got these wrong, because that should have been a piece of cake for you. Now, the next 2, one of them is easy and one's hard. Okay, one of them is very hard. Matter of fact, I would have blocked it. If I were you, I would have blocked it out. That's how hard it is. But let's take a look at this. It says round to 3 sig figs. What's the first sig fig you see? It's that 4. That's the first sig fig. Second, third. If you round to 3 sig figs, do you ever look at the 4th one? And we did this in class over and over again. You have to. And that 7 is big enough to turn that 5 to the next number, isn't it? So it has to be exactly 0.0456, exact, because you rounded it to 3 sig figs. So that's the one I think you should have gotten. This is the one that's very difficult. How in the world do I round that to 3 sig figs? Do I put 1,600,000? And you say, well, how many sig figs does that have? Here's one. Here's one. These are trailing zeros. There's no decimal, right? So how many is that? That's only 2. It said you had to round it to what? 3. And I gave you a little hint here. The only way you could possibly get this right is to use scientific notation. All right, ready? 1.6. Now, watch what happened here. Is that right? Is that the correct answer or not? It's not. I said round it to what? 3 sig figs. See that? Is that trailing zero count? So I would say that's a difficult question, and I'm okay. I'm okay if you missed it. I would have blocked it out. All right, what do you think? It takes energy. I know you can do this, and I'm willing to give you a chance to get some more points back, okay? And like I said, that score right there on your test, I hope that never appears on Headmaster. I hope that you get a bunch of points on the bonus thing. Let's take a look at the next column, okay? The next column. Go ahead and write the correct now. This is, unfortunately, this column is probably the one that hurts you the most. I think, Madison, is that your worst column? Oh, it wasn't? It was your worst column, right? Okay, what was your worst column?
The one we just did.
Which one? The second? The one we just did? What about now? Except for that last one. Do you think you'd be all right if you had bonus questions like that? Okay. So you did pretty well on the third column. That was a hard one. I thought the third one was kind of hard. All right, what do you think? Look at everybody. Put the correct answers down, and we'll take a look at the questions. And said, yeah, go ahead. Which one, Sierra?
What is 47?
27 or 37?
47.
47. I had to accept two different answers. It could be 2,400 or 2,500. And when I get to that, I'll show you how to do that one. Okay. So I understand. I would say this right here was kind of the hard section. Now remember, I did give you I gave you 4 blockouts. Is that correct? So think about this. You had 4 questions. You said, I have no idea how to do that, and just get rid of them. All right, let's take a look, and let's go to the next page of the test. Okay, now, so take a look at 38, 39, and 40. 38, 39, and 40. And you might say to yourself, if you have a calculator, would you please get that out? If you have a calculator, let's get that out. Because we're going to be doing some calculations here. Let's see. Kyle, see, can you go back there? I think there's a calculator way back there. That might be mine. I don't see my other one. I don't have one. Okay. All right, let's look at 38, 39, 40. I'm definitely going to have those on the bonus thing. You get that? Because I know you can get them right. I know you can. What I was trying to tell you is that in math class, you simply put this in a calculator and write down what the calculator says, because they don't use measured numbers. The scientists can't do that. That would be a lie. And so they had this rule. They had 2 rules, right? Somebody, if you can tell me the rule, you probably know it. If you have to wait for me to tell you, then you don't know it. What's the rule? When you multiply or divide significant figures. Help me out. Anybody know? What is it?
You go to the least sig figs.
So you round to the least number of sig figs. Now, look at this guy here. See, the fact that you know the rule, you have a really good chance of getting this right. So this is a multiplication, isn't it? How many sig figs right here? Real quickly, go, everybody. 2. How many here? 3. How many here? 4. How can that be 4? I understand this is significant, this is, and that's a trailing 0 with a decimal. Why would you think that was significant? There's no rule that makes that significant. None. So it doesn't matter here, because 3, 3, 2. What are you going to have to round to? 2. Now, put in the calculator, see what you get. Danny, what do you have? What does the calculator say the answer is? 118 point what?
125.
Okay, now the calculator also does not know what is a centimeter times a centimeter times a centimeter. See that? It's like X times X. Okay, so they don't know that. You have to put that down. I was a little bit lenient on that. If you didn't put the right unit, sometimes I wasn't. If you didn't put the right unit, I might take it off a point. Okay, now, Daniel, we can't write this number because you said I had to round to 2 sig figs, right? So here's the first sig fig. Let me get rid of that. Here's the first sig fig. Here's the second one. Now, it's either going to be rounded to 110 or it's going to go up to by 1. So is it going to be 110 or is it going to be 11? Uh-oh, that 8 makes that into 2, doesn't it? Now, how do I make sure that it's rounded to 2 sig figs? I make sure I don't put a decimal here, right? Now, right now, the way I wrote it, it only has 2 sig figs, and that's why the answer is 120 cubic centimeters. All right, would everybody put this in a calculator? Put this one in the calculator. See what you get. Delaney, I haven't called you yet. What did you get on the calculator for this one?
24.24.
24.24, okay.
Yeah,
Delaney, oh, what is it?
24.243.
Is that it? Okay, now, do you know the rule of significant figures if you're adding or subtracting? He said if you multiply or divide, you round to the least number of sig figs. But when you add or subtract, you have to round to the least number of what? Least number of decimal places. So look right here. This went to hundredths place. This went to tenths place. This went to tenths place. What's the least number of decimal places? Tenths place. Now, let's go over here and see the answer. You said 24.2. Now that 2 either stays or it goes up by 1. Let's take a look. Oh, not big enough. Not big enough. So what are you going to write down?
24.2.
Say it again.
24.2 grams.
Grams, yes. 24.2 grams. That's it. That's why they had to be exact. Let's do one more. Madison, here you go. Tell me what the calculator had for this one.
0.37945.
One more time.
0.37945.
23 point.
37945. 0.37945.
Is there a decimal?
0.37945.
Like that? 23 point. Is it 23 point?
No, it's just 0.379.
Oh, 0.379 something, right? Okay, sorry. All right, now, what's the rule when you multiply or divide sig figs?
You round to the least number.
Of sig figs. How many sig figs in this guy?
4.
4. How many here? Only 2, right? So I have to round to 2. So what are you going to put? 0.37, or is it going to go up to 0.38?
0.38.
That's it. Now, 0.38. Uh-oh. What kind of units? They don't cancel, so it's grams on top, milliliters on bottom. All right. Okay, so what do you think about that? Now, the next ones, I really think if you just practice a little bit, here's a formula, okay? Ready? First thing you do, subtract 32 5/9. Yeah. Is that right? Now, anytime you ask me to change Fahrenheit into Celsius, I'm going to use that. Let's take a look. Here's one. This one asked me right here, change Fahrenheit into Celsius. Put it in your calculator right now. Put this in your calculator. Put -40 right there. -40 minus 32 times 5/9. And you're going to think you made a mistake, but what's the answer? What is it? It's the only temperature where the Celsius and Fahrenheit thermometers read the exact same number. Isn't that right? Okay, now, let's try another one. This one says Fahrenheit to Kelvin. I never gave you one for that. But I did tell you that Celsius plus 273 equals Kelvin. Is that correct? So now watch. Take Fahrenheit and change it into Celsius. Then, what do you do with Celsius? You add 273 and you have Kelvin. Let's try it. Put this in there. negative 450 minus 32 times 5/9. That's Celsius, right? And then you add 273. You add 270. Thank you. Okay? Your hand should be on this calculator. You should be pushing buttons right now. Did you get all these right?
Yeah.
All the temperature conversion? Oh,
Wait.
why not? If you can get one of them right, or two of them right, you should be getting all of them right, probably. All right, did everybody get this one? Okay, so that came out to be, what, somewhere close to 5? Somewhere around 5? Okay, 5 kelvins. Now, what's the other equation? This says Celsius to Fahrenheit. This is Celsius to Fahrenheit, so everything's backwards, right? Celsius, what? You don't add or subtract first, you multiply first. Don't use 5/9, use 9/5. And then don't subtract 32, add 32. Now, it took a little effort. I agree. It took a little effort to memorize these, didn't it? But that's what we did. We spent time in class, and we tried to do that. You had homework, didn't you? If you did the homework, you must have used those equations over and over. All right, so everybody put this in there. Put 4 Celsius right here. 4 times 9/5 plus 32. You say, I can get these. I can do these. My answer key says number 41. Do you get somewhere around 39? 39.2? I want you to get these right. You know that? I want you to. Now, this was not that hard. How do you go Celsius to Kelvin? That's the easiest one, because what do? You just add 273. So take this number here, add 273. See that? All right. What'd you get, 310? All right. I know I have at least 2 of the temperature conversions there. Can you get both those right? Okay, now these are harder. This one, for example, here's a box, and it has 90 grams. Go ahead.
Wait, would you go for number 41?
Oh, 41? Somewhere around 39.2. Did you not get that?
No.
Here's what I do, okay? Put 4 right here. 4 times 9/5, and then plus 32.
I had 32 first, and then I did times 9.
Yeah, this one is, this one you add or subtract first, this one you multiply first. This one you subtract, see that? So you do have to memorize those. Now, let me, gosh, I gotta move on. Dang, hit. Yeah. 45? Okay. Anytime you want to find a volume of an object that has 90-degree angles, just like this box here. If I want to find the volume, it'd be the length times the width times the height. So what's the length? Put that in your calculator. Put 2 or 20 times 52 times 32. Now wait a minute. Wait, hang on. Wait a minute. I need this time. I need a little bit of time. So you'll put in the calculator. The only problem is these are measured numbers. You get that? So you're not allowed to write every one of those numbers on there. But what's your weak link? Your weak link only has 2 sig figs, doesn't it? So you had to round to 2 sig figs. That's why I had 33,000 as the answer. Here's what I'll let you do, all right? I have to have these back. Do you have all the answers or not? Let's do the last column, okay? We got time. We got a little bit of time. Would you at least write the answers down on the last column? Just write the answers down. That's all I want you to do, all right? I'll let you go. What I'd like you to do is I want you to take this home, and I want you to think about it. And I'm not sure, are you going to be ready? I don't want to do this again tomorrow. I can. But we can do the bonus opportunity tomorrow. I can do that. Yes? Move it up? Like that? Okay, so what we'll do is, if you take this home and look at it, and then maybe the first 10 minutes of class, I'll answer some questions, and then I can go ahead and you can answer some questions, and then I'll give you a bonus opportunity, and you cannot lose. You can only gain points, all right? All right, thank you. You had a game yesterday, didn't you?
Yeah.
Okay.
What was the answer to number 40?
Say it again.
The answer to number 40?
40. It has to be only 2 sig figs. So if you had 0.38 grams per cubic centimeter, what did you have?
I've had 3.8 grams over 9 years.
Okay, instead of 3.8, it should be 0.38, I think.
Yeah, 0.3. I meant 0.38.
Oh, can I look at it?
I had 0.38.
Whoa.
Sorry, I was taking notes.
Oh, man. Okay, what's all this stuff here?
I was just taking notes.
Oh, you're taking notes. So you wrote your answer way over here? Okay, that might have been a problem for me because, huh. So it's possible when I lay my answer key down, it's possible I wouldn't even have seen that. Okay, so I'll give that back to you.
Also number 60, I wrote false. And the answer was false.
I'm not sure how I did that. So that's the way it would look, that's what it looked like? Huh. So they're 2.5 points apiece, and you get 2 more, so that's 5. So it's really only minus 36. Okay. Well, that looks a lot better.
I did 7 of these.
36, double check.
I like switched
119, wow.
all the
Okay, 119 is pretty good. Is that what you got?
Yeah.
Yeah, 119, yeah. So now, what if you could get 20? If you got 20 bonus points, they give you 139 out of 150. That would be an A. Now, I'm not saying it's easy to get 20. I have 25 questions. But you have a chance to get an A on this.
Thank you.
Okay? And remember, I can't ask all those questions, can I? I'm only going to ask 25. So some of the questions that only
Use your calculator and